So a little bit ago, I made a video talking about the top 5 worst ultimates in Overwatch, and that video got a lot of love, a lot of hate, and just a lot of attention, and there were a lot of comments that laid in on me on some of my choices for the quote-unquote top 5 worst ultimates in Overwatch. And with the top 5 list, you can never please anybody, and with my videos, that's kind of what I try to do, unfortunately. I just want to entertain people and just take you away from the real world, because there's a lot of crap that, you know, that makes people mad, makes people angry, and I figure, well, my videos can distract you for 5-10 minutes or whatever, and just put a smile on your face. Well, with the top 5 list, I thought those are some of the most entertaining videos, but sometimes they can be the worst types of videos as terms of getting a good reception. So I quickly just want to talk about the few comments that I saw in that video before I get into today's video, because I feel like if I talk about what I saw in that video, then those same comments won't appear on this video, which is the top 5 best ultimates, which ultimately, like what I did there, ultimates, anyway, maybe if I explain myself, then maybe those comments won't happen. But again, it's a top 5 list. People are gonna have their opinions, which I want you guys to. Just because I make videos saying, oh, these are my opinions, doesn't mean you can't have your opinions. But anyway, a long-winded intro. So pretty much I saw 2 main themes, which were Winston's ultimate and Hanzo's ultimate, which are pretty much quote-unquote CC ultimates, crowd control ultimates. And it's not like I don't know about that, but the way that I think about Overwatch is that your main goal is trying to get the win. Well, what's the best way to get the win? Well, to simply just get kills. If you get 3 kills right there, you have numbers 6 versus 3, and the best way to do that is usually through ultimates. Now granted, sometimes you can play a soldier or McCree and just simply get kills like that, but if you combine ultimates, well, that way you can get more kills. Well, in this case with Winston's ultimate, you can't really combine any other ultimate to try to get kills, so that's why I kind of threw it on this list. Yes, you can push people off the payload, but I feel like there's other things that can just do that better than an ultimate. Oh man, I have the coughs. And same thing with Hanzo's ultimate. A lot of people thought it was just something to just kind of get people out of the way, out of the choke. And while that is good, again, some abilities do it better than an ultimate to try to get people off the choke. Yes, Hanzo's ultimate can do that phenomenally well, but I feel like if you're going to be using an ultimate and your main goal is to try to get the win, obviously kills isn't everything, but if you get a bunch of kills, then it can help a whole lot. So anyway, that's just my little intro. Let's get into the video because I wasted too much time. These are the top 5 best ultimates in Overwatch. Oh boy, here we go. So starting off this list at number 5 is gonna be Ana's Nano Boost. So the good thing about this ultimate is that it works so well with many other killing ultimates, like Soldier's ultimate, like Reaper's ultimate, like Genji's ultimate. It just ensures so much more damage and just allows them to be protected just a little bit more. But not even that, it can just work with any other ally. You don't even need to pair it up with an ultimate. If there's like a DPS god on your team and you just want to give him the Nano Boost, well, there you go. You can just give it to him, and now he's able to just ensure a lot more kills without even having to use an ultimate himself. And even someone like Reinhardt, if you give it to her lover, pretty much her like fantasy lover, well, he's able to just earth shatter right there, give him the nano boost, and boom, he's just able to swing his big old hammer. No, I don't mean that in a sexual term, but if you want to put it like that. Anyway, the only way that this can really be countered, which again, this is why the ultimate is so good, it can't really be countered like some of these other ultimates. The only way that it can be is if, well, your ally dies, or if someone like Diva ejects when you give her the ultimate, which at that point you just kind of sit there, contemplate life. You just think to yourself, why do I even try anymore? And also, not to mention the best ultimate combo, Boostio! But no, seriously, the Ana Nano Boost, it's a great spicy ultimate. Coming in next at number 4 is going to be SOMBRA's EMP. Now, before you start typing in the comments, getting your pitchforks and just getting your fires, or whatever angry mobs use nowadays, I don't even think they use torches anymore. Before you start doing that, I know Sombra isn't the greatest hero, okay? I know that a lot of other heroes in the game can do her job better besides hacking, because that's special to her, which shout out to her. But just because she's not really a great hero doesn't really correlate with her ultimate as also being a terrible ultimate, because you just gotta think, her EMP, at least in my honest opinion, I think is one of the most powerful and most underused in the game, and people still are having to figure it out. Because if you just think about it, if you just get it in a general vicinity, if you get like a couple of people, like 4, 5, 3, just a couple of people that really rely on their abilities, like Reinhardt's shield, or maybe Mei's ice block, or maybe just straight up if people's shields like Zenyatta and Zarya and Symmetra, bro, you're gonna be able to get so many team wipes because, again, a lot of people think that Sombra is a terrible hero, so they don't really appreciate how powerful her ultimate is. But if you still don't believe me by how powerful Sombra's ultimate is, here's just a short list of a few abilities that won't be able to use for that short period of time while the EMP is activated. Bastion can't go into turret form, D.Va can't use her defense matrix, Lucio can't change her song, Mei can't use her ice block or ice wall, Mercy can't fly away, Reaper can't use his wave form, Reinhardt can't use his shield, Rhoda can't use his hook, Tracer can't blink away, every single shield cannot regenerate, and if you want to get really technical, every single ultimate in the game cannot be used for the duration of the EMP. So this technically counters every single ultimate in the game, but again, it's not the most powerful because yes, you have to be in a certain radius for her to be able to even hack you, and again, it only lasts for a couple of seconds, but it does set up for a lot of team wipes and a lot of team pushes because, well, you're not able to use a shield, you're not able to run away, you're not able to use those cheap tactics like how I do with Mei and just ice block around the point. You're able to actually get those people that really like to contest. So again, if you just have to think of all the abilities that can't be used and you have to follow up on it. And I think that's the biggest variable is if your team's going to follow up. But if you get in the higher levels and you're using a Sombra, more than likely people are going to follow up and just go and get lots and lots of team wipes. So coming in at number 3, I had to think very long of what is just pretty much the top 3 ultimates, especially in the killing department. And for number 3, I'm going to go with Genji's Dragonblade. And again, I have to explain because there's a lot of details that went into this choice when comparing all the other killing ultimates, because when you think of an ultimate, lots of those ultimates that get you a lot of team wipes can be done with multiple heroes. You think of Soldier, you think of Reaper, you think of McCree, but Genji has a lot of aspects to his ultimate that just kind of outshines all of them, especially with what it can do. So first of all, it's one of the mobile ultimates, right? When you think of McCree, when you think of Reaper, you're pretty stationary. If you use your high noon, or if you just go and die, well, a Roadhog can interrupt it, or just another McCree flashbang can interrupt it. At least with Genji, it's pretty mobile. Okay, well, there's Soldier 76. He can run around and he just doesn't miss. Fair enough, that's totally fine and understandable, right? Those are very powerful mobile ultimates. But one big counter that is usually on the field to counter Soldier 76's ultimate is D.Va. So pretty much all D.Va has to do is just hear that I've got you in my sights, put up her defense matrix, and boom, fly over to Soldier 76, and it's countered right there. Okay, maybe D.Va just has to get out of mech, and then you're able to use your Soldier 76 ultimate. Okay, that's fine. But another aspect of Genji's ultimate is that he is probably one of the most fastest, most annoying, and most like energetic ultimate on the field because of his swift strike ability. So let's say this. Let's say you're swiping left and right with your katana like you're on Tinder or something, and that's also another aspect right there. It's pretty easy to get a kill on like a squishy hero, and if you're going after a tank, all it takes is a couple more swipes. So that in itself is just pretty easy to get kills right there. You don't have to be far away. You're not going to get countered easily, maybe with a Roadhog, whatever. Either way, it's pretty easy to get a few swipes on an enemy, but every time you get a kill, you get another dash, and that's what's so powerful about Genji's ultimate, is that every time he gets a swipe kill on someone, he's able to dash to someone else, and then swipe again, dash to another enemy, and we've all seen that in the montage. We've all seen the Seagulls, we all seen the other weaves that play Genji, and that is what's so great and so powerful. Yes, it can be countered by a McCree, yes, it can be countered by a Roadhog, but the fact that someone can just jump up and down, swift strike all over the place, it is so great. If you learn how to master Genji, and especially with his ultimate, it can be one of the best team wiping ultimates in the game, no doubt about it. But there's 2 other ultimates. How do they top Genji's ultimate? Well, let's find out right now, baby! Coming in at number 2 is going to be Mercy's Resurrection, and I feel like this is an ultimate that people kind of look down upon and they wouldn't really expect to be on a top 5 list. But you just gotta think, when I listed Genji's ultimate, I just listed a bunch of different ultimates that does its job as terms of just team wiping people. I thought of McCree, I thought of Soldier, I thought of Reaper. Now, not everything is just about team wipes, sometimes it is about zoning, but pretty much your main point of using those ultimates are to try to get a lot of kills, as much kills as possible. But nothing in the game brings someone back to life with full health like how Mercy's Resurrection does. It's sort of like a full restore when you're playing Pokemon. If you ever go through an Elite Four, bro, you're about to destroy someone's Blastoise, destroy someone's Dragonite, you cut them down to maybe 5 HP, and they use a full restore. That is the most annoying thing ever. Same thing in Overwatch. You destroy like maybe 3 people right on the Temple of Anubis, the last point, and Mercy comes in and resurrects them and has them full health, and plus they're immune for like maybe a second or two. Bruh, that is so powerful. Now, like I said, there's not a a lot of ultimates in the game that can bring them back to life. The only thing I can think of is Symmetra's teleporter, but they still have to have that respawn wait right there, and that time, usually a smart team is going to go straight to the point and capture it right there. Mercy's resurrection, it's so clutch, it's so powerful, and I feel like that's the reason why she's kind of taking over Season 5, is because that resurrection, that ultimate, it can regenerate so fast. You can just use it if someone's low on HP, like a Roadhog, a Reinhardt, a D.Va, a lot of these tank heroes, you just have to heal them for like maybe a couple seconds, and you already build your ultimate to like halfway, maybe a quarter or something. It is so quick, and it charges way too fast. I feel like they're gonna nerf it in the near future, but it is just one of the best in the game because nothing else does it, and it charges so fast. So one of the best. A lot of people are gonna have their different opinions, but what takes the #1 spot? What is the best ultimate in the game, or at least what I feel like could be the best ultimate in the game? She is strong, she is powerful, she's gonna destroy the whole entire Omnic race. #1 on this list, it's gonna be Zarya's Graviton ultimate. So the only downside to this ultimate is that it just takes so long to charge, but the reason why it takes so long is because it is so powerful. That's not the reason why it's #1. I feel like the reason why it's #1 is because it sets so many other ultimates just do its job phenomenally well. Here's just a quick list of a few ultimates that you can pair up with Graviton to just get tons of team wipes, which by the way, team wipes isn't everything, but I feel like the #1 way that you can win games is just simply getting kills, and this is probably the best way. So here's a quick list of a few ultimates that just work so well with Graviton. Bastion's ult, D.Va's ult, Genji's ult, Hanzo's ult, Junkrat's ult, McCree's ult, Mei's ult. Kind of, if you didn't do it the first time, this at least gives you a second chance to get another team wipe. Pharah's ult, Reaper's ult, Reinhardt's ult, similar to Mei's. If you didn't do it the first time, it just sets it up for even more powerful ult. Roadhog's ult, Soldier 76's ult, Sombra's ult, which was even on this list. The Sombra bomb, very underused and very powerful. Tracer's ultimate, and that's about it. Now you can use someone like Torbjorn if you want to just get team wipes, but again, it just brings people together and it just sets up for just a huge kill right there. Now again, a big counter to this is going to be Mercy's ultimate, but a smart player is going to aim for the Mercy so that she cannot counter it. So if you just try maybe 2, 3, or maybe even 4 people, or even the whole team, like on a 2 CP map, bruh, you're gonna win the game. A smart player is going to be able to combo ultimates with Zarya's ult. A lot of teams wait for that, and that is just the clear indication, like, alright, we have Zarya's ultimate, we're gonna win the game because we're gonna get a massive team wipe. And also another counter is gonna be D.Va's defense matrix, but D.Va's defense matrix now has so many ultimates. I said soldiers, I said Pharah's, Reapers, so many ultimates can be countered by that, but hey, that's D.Va. She's made to make you salty. So I know my list was going to be different than yours, so I want you guys to leave down your comments down below what you think is the best ultimates in the game. I'm going to try to stay away from the hate-filled comments or the mean comments, but I'm not going to misconstrue that with your guys' opinion because I'm sure your guys' opinion is going to be different than mine. So love you guys. Thank you guys for watching. More Overwatch videos to come, and bye.